we were kind of hot on the Cavs there for a minute, so I want to stick with this, and we'll get to the Immanuel Quickley thing in a second. But my point on Dean Wade is not to listen, I know I trash talked him, and I telling you, I give him full credit. He is contributing to their wins. There's no doubt about it. He has played tremendously well on defense, and he does some little things. But if you play Boston, if you play any of the teams if they get to the finals, I just don't know if he's playable, Mike. At least not significant minutes.
We all agree.
Okay.
Dean Wade has to shoot the open shots.
Right.
No one is arguing. I tweeted it out the other day, and people got mad at me when I gave him credit for having a good game in Game 2, saying, well, he's got to shoot. I said, go back 3 tweets. I tweeted out, if Dean Wade's on the court, he has to shoot the open threes. But anything you get offensively from Dean is a bonus. Because the other guys that you're putting out there with those big lineups in the starting 5, whether it's Keon Ellis, whether it's Sam Merrill, whether it's Max Strus, who's been the only guy in the playoffs off the bench so far that has made a shot for Cleveland, none of those other guys are having the defensive attention.
They all stink,
Now, Merrill should, but something's up with Sam, whether it's the hamstring or it's the hand.
Terrible.
He was short on all his shots in Game 2. I told you guys after the Game 1 win, he had a double ice pack on his right hand.
Yeah.
Never a good sign.
Yeah.
He had to deal with a little bit of a hammy issue. He was short on all his shots in Game 2. If Sam's not making the shots, he still has more gravitational pull, but you lose.
I think, listen, Strus played well in Game 1. I think he'll be fine. Yeah. Keon Ellis has been out to lunch in this series so far. Again, I don't want to get carried away. It's 2 games, right? But Schroeder's done nothing. Tyson looks terrible right now. He does not look like the player we saw. He just looks... He's the one that obviously has been negatively affected by Harden here. He looks like he's trying to find his way with this group, and he's having a hard time.
He's a guy that I feel like needs touches to get into the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
And we talked about earlier when they traded for Harden, who's that 5th starter? I didn't like him in that role because we could see with Dean Wade, they just don't get touches. He's never going to get into the flow of the game.
Right.
He plays best, in my opinion, in the Donovan secondary units where he is essentially their backcourt partner. It's him and Strus, but Tyson's the other playmaker, as opposed to fitting him in alongside the other 4, so he can get those touches, get into the rhythm. But I don't want to say the moments look too big for Jalen so far, but he's trying to play super physical, and he's gotten foul trouble early. And then Kenny's had to take him out, so when he goes back in, I feel like he's kind of pressing, trying to make things happen. He just needs to calm down, take a deep breath.
I think he needs
Let the game come to him.
He needs more minutes, and he didn't get it because of the foul trouble, and he needs more minutes with the right group around him. I think.
I mean, listen, playing in the playoffs, there's more pressure.
No doubt.
You can just kind of see him. He looks like a little bit uneasy.
Yeah, he looks tight, a little tight.
I mean, when you play tight, you're gonna get the results that he's producing right now, which is just not very good. But hopefully. And you know what? Maybe when we go on the road, he'll be more comfortable. Maybe because he's away from this atmosphere. And
his brother's also about to be a first-round pick, and he's talked about how much he's kind of involved in that process. So maybe there's just a lot going on in his head.
He's thinking about him and his brother are like best friends. So he's probably like, "Where's my brother going to go? Maybe my brother could be my roommate." Like, we don't know.
They've joked about if the Browns do draft Jordan, that Jordan's buying the house and Jalen's moving in because the first-round NFL contract's a lot more at the Browns pick position than what Jalen got.
My question
is
he going to if Jordan Tyson gets drafted by the Browns, and we're in the middle of this game, is someone going to tell him, "Hey, your brother's going to Cleveland"?
Probably
for 100%.
Right? We would be
because the draft starts at what 7:30 or 8?
The draft starts at 8. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this game's at 8 o'clock.
Oh no, they'll be in the.
So at halftime, it'll be what 9:20.
Be checking his phone.
9:30.
The Browns will
by then. The Browns will have probably made their first pick.
Yeah.
We'll see if who knows, but. All right, so you got some stat on Immanuel Quickley.
Not a stat.
Is he going to play? Do we know?
So, Game 1 always looked iffy.
Yeah.
Game 2, I thought he was going to play, especially after they lost Game 1. Yeah. But you know how hamstrings work. Dustin, you've been an athlete. Like, they're really finicky.
Yeah. And if he doesn't play tomorrow, then he's probably not going to play, I would assume.
He has the extra day because of travel to get healthy. Darko, the head coach of Toronto, said leading into Game 2, he's making progress. I don't know how much I want to believe these guys at this point, but they said he's making progress. I think he'll play in Game 3. He knows it's now or never.
Yeah.
He's making $160 million as his contract. Like they paid him a lot of money to be there in these kind of games. He has to be there. But for a guy dealing with a finicky hamstring, right? Toronto's got to figure out how to kind of hide him defensively, right? I don't think you want him chasing Donovan around pick and rolls. You definitely don't want him chasing James Harden around pick and roll. So, You know who's going to guard Bull?
Dean Wade.
And you know what the Cavs are going to do? Run pick and rolls with Dean Wade for Donovan or for James nonstop. Dean Wade and James have actually developed a really nice pick and roll chemistry.
Yeah.
Not in terms of slipping and sliding, but Wade sets pretty good screens and then gets immediately out of the way. Because you want to have either the other big come through, but because teams have been hiding their worst defender on Dean, the Cavs have kind of played into that. And they've used Dean as the screener, and Toronto likes to switch. So now you're putting Toronto in a pickle. If you put Quickley on Dean Wade to start, and he comes and sets that screen, are you going to switch Quickley onto James Harden, who, by the way, their best defender in Scotty Barnes has had no success guarding James Harden this far. Are you going to switch and put Quickley on Harden? Are you going to just not switch now and let Harden get the advantage going downhill? It's going to put them in a complete pickle. Quickley helps Toronto offensively a lot. He's their best shooter. He's the head of their snake offensively. But defensively, if he's out there, they're going to have to figure out a lot defensively to work him into the mix.
I don't think Toronto's got any shot.
Do we think that Dean Wade will hit his prop on points?
What is it?
Over 4.5.
Honestly, probably no.
You know, I've been so negative about him. I'll say yes, he hits 6 points.
6 points?
2 threes?
I mean, it'd be nice for a guy who's starting in the NBA playoffs to be able to get 3 buckets.
But yeah, I mean.
And maybe a couple free throws.
Yeah. He's averaging 5.8, so. That's the regular season. He's averaging less than that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
What does he have, 8 points in 2 games?
He had.
If that.
He had 3 in
game 2. I don't know what he had in game 1.
I think he had 5, yeah. But he held Ingram to 7 points. So if you're going to tell me the difference between Ingram and Wade is 4 points,
I hear you. I'm just saying when they play better teams.
Yes.
His defense won't be enough to overcome the deficiency on the other side.
We'll see
unless he shoots, and right now he looks scared to shoot the ball.
Yeah,
there was one play in the fourth quarter where he's just dribbling around the whole court. It looked like an 8-year-old basketball game.
But also in some of these, Dean does have to shoot the open ones.
Yeah.
But if it's half contested, Dean doesn't have to shoot just to shoot. I feel like you're just saying throw up 7 shots.
No, I'm not saying that.
He only gets 4 opportunities to shoot a game, Bull. So how much do you want from him?
When you play 30 minutes or whatever he's playing, you got to at least be a factor. The team's got to.
They have to guard him, yes, but no one. They're not running plays for Dean. He's not getting.
I understand
it's
that.
Not like
they don't run plays for Jared Allen.
Yes, they do now. Pick and rolls are for Jared Allen directly to get to the paint.
Not a lot. They're not doing it very often.
Every pick and roll he runs with Jared Allen is a play for Jared Allen to get a good look at the rim.
All right, fair. That's a fair point. Well, we'll see. But all I know is you can't. Like, if you're playing the Celtics, if you're playing the Thunder,
yes, they need Dean.
He's not going to be able to play good enough defense to overcome the zero he's going to be on offense.
You're probably right.
In fairness to you, there's no clear better option.
Who else are you going with?
I think you can go with Strus, but I don't know. I don't think there's nobody else.
Your difference is Strus going to guard Jason Tatum, and is the offense you get from Strus.
But is Dean Wade? He ain't shutting down Jason Tatum.
He's their best perimeter defender.
Yeah.
Is he good enough to shut down Jason Tatum? Probably not. No one is.
No, can you force him? Make him to force some shots? Can you maybe hold him to 10 points
him work
less?
harder.
10 points less than he would have if he was going up against Strus, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well those 8 points he didn't have, but basically that's 8 points he would have on offense.
So you originally said he would only start this series. You think he starts against Boston?
Boston, I'm not sure. Detroit, he'll definitely start against. He's done a really good job in his career against Cade Cunningham.
Right. Again, they don't have. That'll be interesting. I mean. That's the whole game. If Cade Cunningham's got to be phenomenal.
Yeah, and Dean's done a really good job on him. Against Boston, I think in game 1 you probably start Dean, and if they just completely don't. So if teams don't guard somebody.
Yeah, right. Which they won't.
They won't.
Yeah.
But if Dean could be, and he has become, but if he continue to be a good screener with James Harden.
Yeah.
You can't not defend a screen, is my point, right?
Right.
So now that you have James, who is as good a pick-and-roll puppeteer as anyone who's ever played the game of basketball. You have Donovan. If they're going to completely leave Dean open in the corner, then fine. Yes, he has to shoot those threes when the ball gets kicked to him. He does have to shoot. I am not arguing that whatsoever.
Yeah.
He has to shoot, and he has to make those threes.
Right, because he'll get good looks.
Yeah, and they're wide open. But unlike Isaac Okoro last year, for example, they used Isaac as a screener a little bit.
Yeah.
But when they did it, it was Donovan, who's had 53 possessions already as the offense, usage rate at 60%.
Yeah, right.
Or Darius Garland trying to navigate with his bad toe.
Yeah.
As opposed to now, you're dealing with James Harden and a healthy Donovan Mitchell. You can still utilize guys who aren't knockdown shooters in the playoffs. And this, I don't want to come off as Dean's not a flawed. Dean is a flawed player. He's not perfect. But I just don't know. There are other options. It's not like you're playing this, but this is on the. It's not like
they
that.
don't have a great other option. And let's face it, I mean, if this is their biggest problem, it's not
It's
a
a
bad
good problem to have. If
the Cavs can beat anybody in the East when they're playing at their best.
Hey, listen, as long as Mobley's going to be that third scorer and give you 20-plus points, I can withstand having Dean Wade out there giving us 4 points a game.
Right. Yeah.
And if it was not 25 from Mobley, but it's 19 from Mobley and 18 from Allen, and those two, the fifth guy in the court is not going to get that many opportunities if the other four are that much of the focal point on offense. Yeah. And if you can find ways.
But here's the thing: the reality is Dean Wade, he's not going to gain a lot of attention because he's not a great scorer. So he's going to have opportunities to shoot open threes. Like these people that were sitting around me in my section on Monday night were like, every time he got the ball, he's open. And it's like, shoot it.
Yeah, and that I agree with. That I agree
with. If he can make 2-3
changes everything.
Threes, then you got to at least D him up a little bit.
I mean, they let the Cavs let Scotty Barnes in game 1 shoot 3 completely uncontested threes to start the game. Now he made all 3.
Yeah.
Colin Murray Boyles, the Toronto rookie, they are not even. They're guarding him less than teams guard Dean Wade.
Right.
He's 0 for 4 from 3 in this series.
Dean Wade's what, like a 30% three-point guy?
It's like 34th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you're a 34% three-point shooter and you get an open look,
you got to shoot.
You have to shoot it.
I am not arguing that whatsoever.
Yeah. It's not games on the line here.
It's
not like the buzzer beater at the fourth quarter for the win. Like it's in the second quarter and you're wide open.
If he's open, he has to shoot.
Has to shoot.
Yes.
And if he makes 30-something% on those open, maybe
and I don't even care if he misses 10 in a row. Just keep shooting until you find a way to get the confidence.
But honestly, on wide open shots, he should hit 40%.
Well, that's why I asked him what his percentage is. If he's 34%, okay, what's he going to be on open? Like
so he was 36% this year.
Yeah. If he's most of his threes are wide open, and he should make 40%. Isn't that fair?
He airballed his very first 3 in game 1, and I looked at. I was sitting next to Earl, and I said, he's not shooting again the rest of the series like that. And to his credit, he came back and made one in the second half.
He's going to get 4 to 5 open looks a game, and I'm fine with him shooting those.
Yeah,
you know,
if he's open, he has to shoot. Yes. But to think the Cavs need 8 to 12 points from Dean Wade on a night-to-night basis, A, is unrealistic, and B, I just don't think the emphasis is that high on what they need from him.
I'm just asking him to go 2 for 5 from 3 every game. Is that a lot to ask? I don't think it is.
Or 1 for 4.
1 to the bank.
1 for 4. I'll live with that. But I like 2 for 5.
I'd like to see him make at least one go through a bucket through the bucket every game, and just to pull them out and keep you honest a little bit. You're
2 for 2 on that. Then he hasn't made one in game 1. He made one in game 2. So
all right.